back to The Outsider's Perspective. My name's Ollie, and here's your loaf of daily bread. For today's loaf of bread, we give thanks to the Indian mystic and philosopher Shankara, who says the following: "For he is the knower, and the knower can know other things, but cannot make himself the object of his own knowledge. In the same way that fire can burn other things, but cannot burn itself." Shankara, like many Indian philosophers, was concerned primarily with the self, the nature of the self, and in Vedantic terminology, this is of course the Atman. Now, the terminology doesn't really matter to me. What matters is the experiences and the phenomena that they point to. And in this case, I do believe that there is a core or nucleus, if you will, of yourself that is not only divine, but connected to the greater divine mind or self of the universe. I found this theme and this idea explored in many different philosophies and belief systems, and I believe that even people like Jesus, for example, was really trying to point toward that inner reality. How else do you explain a line like, "The kingdom of God is within you"? I mean, if God is the king and his kingdom is within you, then by extension, obviously God is within you as well. So this is a topic of great interest to me, and this line by Shankara kind of touches on an interesting paradox, if you will. So to me, this line suggests that much of the difficulty we have realizing who and what we truly are lies in the fact that what we are can't really know itself the way it can know other things. I don't think it's impossible for the knower to somehow become the object of his or her own knowing. I just think you have to do it in a roundabout way. It's kind of like how your eye sees objects out there, but your eye cannot see itself, right? You can use your eyes to look at everything, but you can't use your eyes to look at your own eyes. I think that's pretty self-evident. But with the invention of mirrors, you can look at a reflection of your eye and get a pretty good idea of what it looks like. And so using a tool, your eye can actually look at itself. Likewise, I think that the knower can become the object of his or her own knowing in much the same way, using a mirror or a tool that allows you to know yourself. And to me, these tools are philosophy, self-exploration, self-experimentation, self-examination. These are all tools, methods, ways for the knower to come to know him or herself. So directly, in the same way that you can know another person or you can come to know another object, in that way the knower cannot become the object of his or her own knowing. But in a more roundabout way, and using different tips and tricks and tools and belief structures, etc., then the knower can become the object of his or her own knowing, or at least the knower can formulate a model or a concept of what he or she is. And this is precisely the aim of philosophy and psychology and so many other endeavors that humans undertake. These are all ways for the knower to come to know itself, not as an individual by the name of so-and-so who does this for a living and who has these friends and who follows this religion, etc. Not for that kind of knowing. To know what you are deep down, at your core, that universal part of you that is alike in all human beings. I do believe that this self exists in all of us, and in humans in particular, it forgets itself and then yearns for its own company. It forgets what it is, begins to identify with a bunch of other things like the body that it's in, the occupation that that body carries out, so on and so forth, forgets itself, and then throughout life craves to know itself again, craves to remember what it truly is. And so much of our struggles in life, our depressions, our unhappiness, is caused by this tension, this yearning. Or I could just be totally crazy and rambling at a park bench. I'll let you be the judge, and hopefully you'll tune in for the next one. Till next time, live well, my friends.